the Long Beach Playhouse, the collaborative, it's incredibly valuable, and it's something I had been wanting to apply to for many years, and I kept missing the deadline. But they offer a safe space with low risk for other, theater companies that already have a production to come in and put it up in the Long Beach community, in a very nice space with a lot of support, so that that production could then go on, and have a run someplace else. So it's incredibly valuable, and I feel really lucky to be able to be a part of it. I've always wanted to do something at the Long Beach Playhouse, and I can't wait. I can't wait to perform there. Hi, I'm Megan Dolan, and my play is called Lemur Mom, and it will be at the Long Beach Playhouse. If you want to learn more about this production, listen to this conversation. So the idea for Lemur Mom came from kind of desperation, and because I am an actor and a writer, and that's how I process things. When my son was first diagnosed with autism, I just had to start documenting all of the appointments and experiences that we were having, and just little things that would kind of trigger me. I had to write it because I was just so flooded with everything that was happening. And I kept getting in these spirals of self-doubt and kind of like just like a we're screwed feeling of like, how are we going to incorporate this in our lives? And like one of the scenes is the first time I went to a support group, the first thing these ladies said to me was, "Oh, you have to hire a lawyer and sue the school district." And I was like, "What are you talking?" Like that was not even in my consciousness. And so I couldn't process the kind of person I was going to have to become in order to advocate for my son. So I had to start writing it. And I was in like an artist group at the time. And so I would share these things with the group, and people really, it resonated with people, which gave me relief because I wasn't alone in feeling like this. So that's why I had to write it, because I thought, if there's other mothers or parents out there that feel this way, this could be a service. It wouldn't just be me processing it. It could be, a way to bring other people relief or recognition. So that's why I had to write it. And then one of the things, it's kind of a blessing and a curse. I really write to my own performance style. So sometimes I worry that if you read it on the page, you're not going to hear it the way I want it to be heard. So that's a real challenge, to learn how to write to make it sound like the way my voice sounds. So I had to perform it because I just knew there's certain things I knew how to make a scene land, or I knew that this could be, I hoped that this could be funny in this, this certain way. Like I had is it okay to go into one of the scenes? So one of the first scene I wrote was when we were meeting with this psychologist, and she was giving us the diagnosis, and she had been out for a couple of weeks. Like we hadn't seen her for a couple of weeks. And I was noticing she had all these like bruises on her face. Like there was just weird things about her face. And as she's like telling us this about my son, I'm realizing that she's just had plastic surgery. And so I'm like processing all of this information. So that's the first scene I wrote, was this like, what's going on with her face? And then she's telling us this, and it's like, but wait, look at this. It's my own inner monologue as this devastating information is coming out. And I just knew, I was like, I think this can work. I think I can make this work, and it was so satisfying. I worked on that piece for about 6 months before I presented it, and it did work, and it was just so exciting. So I knew I had to perform it, because I just felt like it was very specific to me and my strengths. What I want people to take away from this show is, the main theme of the show is, I'm not the right mom. I'm not the right mom to handle this. And there is so much judgment, in parenting, even, in raising neurotypical kids. So if you have a kid that isn't neurotypical, you tend to compare yourself to the wrong people. You're like, so what I want people to take away is, and ultimately, I don't want to give anything away about the play, but where the character, where my character comes to at the end is different from where she begins. So what I want people to take away from it is, people that don't have a direct connection to the autism world, or I want them to have a better understanding and maybe develop a little more compassion, through humor. There's a lot of humor in the show, and that really disarms people. And then for people who, are in this world, I would like for them to walk away with a little bit of relief, and that I'm not alone, and that, our family isn't, doing it wrong. That and I just like a more of a sense of like we're all in this together. So when someone walks out, of Lemur Mom, I guess two things I'd like them to remember. One, I have a line in the show that my son's doctor said that, oh my gosh, rings in my head all of the time. But she said that things that for neurotypical people are, innocuous or like an annoyance, for my son are invasive. It's an invasion. And so I'd like people to hold that, and to remember that when you encounter a kid at a party who won't eat whatever's being offered or something, rather than just being like, oh, he's, they're picky and they're entitled, or to maybe just have for a second, like, oh, well, maybe there's texture issues, or maybe, just something more than just the dismissive kind of attitude that I've encountered a lot. And then the other thing I'd like people to take away, just let's see, yeah, is the just having a more expansive view, and really looking at their own internal bias and investigating it, which people have to be aware of it to do that. So there's a lot of people that aren't, but maybe there's people that are open to that and just haven't really looked at it, and seeing this show could crack something like that open. Like, I never thought of it that way before. I'd like people to have that, which in performing the show, in 2018, 2019, and early 2020, there were people who would come who didn't have any connection to the special needs world, and did say like, I never thought about it that way before. And that was like the biggest compliment, and felt really good when I heard that. Well, people must come see Lemur Mom, because it is it's a joyous experience, and it's kind of startling, and because my character reveals things that that most you don't see most people reveal in these situations. Like, the internal monologue of my character is very open, very honest, very raw, and it's refreshing. And because it's yeah, and it's short. It's like a little over an hour, so there's no intermission, and it's a uplifting experience that will make people see things differently, hopefully. The only thing I'd want to mention is when I did the play previous, I used all of our real names, because I'm just not imaginative in that way. And my son, who's now in middle school, and when I first started performing this was in third grade, he requested that I change the names. So I've done that. I've changed everyone's name but my own. And so I guess what I want to emphasize is this, this play is based on true events, but timelines have been condensed and things have been, heightened. So I just want to give it a sense of like, this is a story. It's not necessarily exactly my story. Just, I feel better about having a little space in that. I'm Megan Dolan, and I play as Lemur Mom at the Long Beach Playhouse. And come and see it, because it's a really exciting experience and you won't regret it. It is hilarious, and it's joyous, and it really brings the audience together, and you will walk out with a different perspective on the special needs world. So I can't wait to see you there. Thanks.